Hello everybody, it's Mr. Veale again here, and I am the head teacher of Atwood Primary Academy, which is a two-form entry standalone academy situated in Sanderstead in South Croydon, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the next in my series of Head Teacher Lockdown vlogs. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, hold on a minute, that's not the normal background. Where is Mr. Veale sitting? Well, if you can see behind you, if I point there, happens to be my mower, and if you look over here you can see some of my CD collection, and yes, that's right, I am broadcasting from Whitstable in my shed, and my shed is set up as my home office as well. It's right down at the other end of the garden, and so if I'm having to work from home, sometimes it gives me a little bit of peace and quiet as my children are playing in the garden or they're doing their home learning and so on. So it's all a bit strange, but do you know what? It's the magic of technology, isn't it? You can pretty much film anywhere in the world, can't you? So it's very windy here. You might be able to pick up, I've got the door behind me, which is there. It's a metal door, and it's rattling, and above me, above my head, it's corrugated iron roof, and there's all sorts of pigeons landing on the roof and making all sorts of noise, so I'm hoping that's not going to put you off too much. Now, what is the purpose of our YouTube videos and our channel? Well, really it's to provide as much information in a user-friendly format, and also to showcase what a wonderful school we think Atwood is, and the more people who know about our fantastic community school, the better. And also it's my ambition as head teacher, alongside all of my other teachers, really to stimulate the curiosity of children. So that's why we'll be doing lots of different features, and you've noticed some of them already, I'm sure. So without further ado, we're going to get going, and I'm going to talk about word of the week, and this week's word of the week is vaccine. So vaccine, and I've done some research on this word which I want to share with you. So people we know are desperately trying to find a vaccine for COVID-19, but did you know the word vaccine actually has cow in it? So let's find out why, children. So back in the 18th century, there was a doctor, famous doctor, called Dr. Edward Jenner, and you may have heard of him because he discovered that milkmaids, so ladies, traditionally ladies who milked the cows by hand, did not catch a really nasty disease at the time called smallpox, because he found out that they were in frequent contact with a much milder form of smallpox known as cowpox. And so he had this absolutely amazing leap of scientific thinking. So he thought, well, I'm going to use this information. And so Jenner gave lots of other people, not just milkmaids, a very mild dose of cowpox, in the hope that the body would build up antibodies in order to allow it to fight the smallpox disease. And it actually worked. Amazing bit of science here. And so that is the whole basis of finding a vaccine. You give children, you give grown-ups a tiny bit of a disease, not so much that it makes the person really, really unwell, but it allows the body to make what's called antibodies and fight off that disease. And where do we get the word cow? Well, vascia or vacca is the Latin word for cow, and that's why we've got the word vaccine. And I'm going to hopefully not put my foot in it here using my schoolboy French. I think la vache is French for cow as well. So vaccine. That's our word of the week. And now we're moving on to this week in history. So what happened all the way back on the 19th of May in 1536? Well, that's we've gone all the way back to the Tudor period, haven't we? And sadly, Anne Boleyn was beheaded. So on May the 19th, Anne Boleyn was beheaded on Tower Green in front of the Tower of London. So you'll know that Anne Boleyn was the second wife of Henry VIII, and they'd had a daughter together, and that daughter was Elizabeth, and she went on to become Elizabeth I. But Henry VIII really, really wanted a son, because it would be a son, a male, who would take over from him and become king. So unfortunately, he was really upset with Anne because she only really gave him a daughter. Now, with that disappointment, we know that Henry VIII was a big plotter and a big schemer. And so, on the 2nd of May 1536, Henry had his wife arrested, falsely accusing her of all sorts of crimes, like plotting against him and other horrible things. And guess what? She was found guilty, even though she wasn't, and she was sentenced to death. And unfortunately, Anne Boleyn was beheaded. So that was a grim period of history, wasn't it? But there we go. That's this week's in history. Now, in Atwood news, so what's been happening? Well, yesterday I made a long video for mums and dads at home, really to be thinking about how the 1st of June arrangements are going to happen. So I talked a lot about which year groups were going to be able to come back into school, and I kind of gave a flavour of how we would be set up. So if you are one of the children coming back, your mums and dads have decided that that's going to be happening, that you'll be learning in bubbles, so small protective bubbles of children of no more than 15. And we also spoke about that we're going to have slightly different timings to come into school, and we also talked about the one-way system, and we also spoke about how lunches were going to be arranged and playtimes, and how we're going to keep ourselves as safe as possible by following really good hand washing regimes, and how your teachers and all of the support staff and myself will be doing some extra deep cleaning on Wednesdays and all of these kind of things. And it took a long time, I have to say, for my senior leadership team and my teachers really to think about how to make coming back to school as safe as possible. And I hope you found it really useful. I know that looking at the likes on YouTube and how many people watched the video, it certainly proved to be a really popular one. But this video is much more relaxed, and it's very much aimed at you children, because I know that you will be quite concerned about what's going to be happening after half term. Now, for some of you, if you're a child of a key worker and you've been coming into Atwood, well, it's kind of business as usual. So you'll be carrying on, coming in. You know what we do. So please try not to worry at all, because it's just going to be business as usual for you guys. Now, I know for some of you, it might be that you're coming in for the first time for a long time, and you might be anxious about that. And I just wanted to try and put your mind at rest. That's totally natural. You've spent a long time at home with your mums and dads, and it might be that you're feeling apprehensive about coming back, and you might be feeling that you're going to miss your mum and dad, and you've got yourself into a lovely routine with home learning. It might not be what you would choose, but you've kind of got into a rhythm of it. And I know that all those feelings are totally natural and totally fine. For some of you, you might think, excellent, I cannot wait to get back into a different kind of structure. Year 6, year 1, reception, nursery, can't wait to get back. And that's fine as well, I know that. But I just wanted to say that it will be school, so there'll be lots of familiar things to you, but also there'll be lots of different things for you. So I wanted to know that I'm thinking about you, and we will make it work. So the grown-ups in school will make sure that they explain everything to you about hand washing and how we're going to have our lunch and how we're going to social distance, how we're going to walk around school, what clothes we can wear, all of these kind of things. They will make you feel as comfortable as possible. And don't forget, for the vast majority of you, you'll only be popping in for 2 days in a row, and then you'll be doing your learning from home. So we're going to go for a 3-week cycle for this. So we'll see how it goes, and I promise you we will have some fun along the way. There may be bits that we don't like, but you know what, we're so good at just getting on with it, aren't we, and making it as calm and enjoyable as possible. And I just wanted to say, try not to worry, and I may not be able to catch up with you as much as possible because it's half term coming up. But if I don't see you over YouTube, I just wanted to wish everybody a huge, lovely bank holiday weekend and a lovely half-term break. And if I am seeing you on the Monday the 1st, I cannot wait to see you. And please know that I haven't forgotten about you if you're at home doing your home learning. It won't be long now that we're all together as an Atwood family, and I'm still thinking about you as well. I wanted to also talk to you about Atwood turning 60 on the 12th of June. I really want to think that we can still celebrate this wonderful achievement of a school being 60 years old, or I reckon we'll say 60 years young. So let me have a little think about how we're going to do that. But in the meantime, I just wanted to wish you, from my shed, an absolutely wonderful half-term holiday, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye now.